Morning, 8th grade. Today we're taking a look at Lesson 6, Dilations on a Coordinate Plane. And we've already kind of discussed this a little bit. We're looking at that scale factor, but the outcome for today is that you'll be able to describe the effects of dilation on two-dimensional figures using coordinates. So you're actually going to have to use the coordinate system rather than drawing it. So you are on page 59 of your textbook, and let's take a look at exercises 1 through 5. I want you to go ahead and see if you can take a guess. Pause the video, take a guess on numbers 1 and 2, and then continue. Okay, as we take a look at number 1, point A is at 7, 9. Remember, we have x, y, so we walk first, then we climb, and it's dilated from the origin. On this lesson, all of them will be dilated from the origin, and the scale factor, R, is 6. So we want to find out what the coordinates of A prime are. Well, if we have 7, 9, and the factor is 6, we're going to get 6 times larger. So our x is 6 times larger, our y is 6 times larger. So this changes to 42 and 54, ordered pair, and we're done. Letter B, -8, 5, and the scale factor is R is 1/2. So what does that 1/2 mean? Well, we are multiplying each part of this by 1/2. So there's my first ordered pair, and then we have my second ordered pair. So right here we can cross cancel. When we multiply across, -4 times 1 is -4 over 1, which we don't have to write. Can't cross cancel on this second one. So we multiply straight across and we get 5/2. We could either keep that as is, or we could, if we had to plot it, it would be easier changing that to a mixed number of 2.5. Let's look at point C, 6, -2. So we're going to do the same thing on the first ordered pair. 6 over 1 times 3/4. And our second ordered pair is -2 times 3/4. We can cross cancel in the first ordered pair. 2 goes into 4 twice, and 2 goes into 6 3 times. Multiply across, and we get 9 over 2. And our second one, we can cross cancel our 2's. And -1 times 3 is -3, and 2 times 1 is 2. And again, we could leave it that way, or if we have to graph it, 2 goes into 9, 4.5 times. And -1.5. D, go ahead and do D, number 4 and 5, point D and E, and then come back and check. Okay, you should have had 0 and 44 as your first ordered pair. And on 5, you should have had -3 and -15/2 or -7.5. On the next page, number 6, the coordinates of triangle ABC are shown on the coordinate plane below. The triangle is dilated from the origin at a scale factor of 12. Identify the coordinates of the dilated triangle A prime, B prime, C prime. So even though the triangle is here, we don't have to draw it, but we have to use the coordinates that are given. So the first thing we need to do is go ahead and find what A is. So A is -2, 2, and C is 6, 1. And our letter B is -3, -3. So those are the points we have to work with. And now we're going to use that scale factor of 12. So as we use that scale factor, we're going to go ahead and multiply everything by 12. So point A is now going to be negative 24, positive 24. B is B primes. Negative 36, negative 36. And C prime, 72, 12. And number 7, next page, number 7 says figure DEFG is shown on the coordinate plane system, or below. The figure is dilated from the origin at a scale factor of r equals 2/3. Identify the coordinates of the new dilated figure, D prime, E prime, F prime, G prime, then draw that on the coordinate plane. So because our scale factor is 2/3, what do we actually know about this shape? Yeah, it's going to get smaller because it's less than 1. So the first thing we need to do is find our points. D, C, E, and F. Let's go ahead and find them. D is negative 6, 3. C, oh, that's not C, that's G. G is negative 3, 3. E is negative 4, negative 3. And F is 5, negative 2. Double check me on those. Then when we go to fill in, our first is negative 6 times 2/3. Our second one then would be 3 times 2/3. We can cross cancel, multiply across, and we get a negative 4. And in the second one, our 3's cancel, leaving us with 2. Go ahead and do the same thing for G, E, and F, and come back and check. Okay, hopefully I wrote down that this one is letter G prime, E prime, and F prime. And then the next thing we have to do is we actually have to go and graph this. So we're going to go back up top, and we're going to graph negative 4, 2, negative 2, 2, negative, what is that, 3 2/3. Nope, 2 2/3, sorry, 2 2/3, negative 2. And the last point is 3 1/3, 3 1/3, negative 1 1/3. And we can go ahead with our straight edge and connect those lines. And we should have our new shape. Do note that all of those previous segments are parallel to the new segments. Okay, so we have C or GF is parallel to the new G prime, F prime. Make sure you label. And you're good. Head back to the classroom.